Mayor Mike Johnston and city officials, they've essentially admitted downtown Denver is highly dangerous. You won't believe the safety plan that they've come up with. I'll give you a hint. 10 cops. I'll give you a hint. Some horses. Let's get into it. Here we go. Denver creates new downtown police unit, part of campaign to bring people back. Now, we've got a ton of cities with the bring businesses, bring people, bring tourists back to the downtown core. Why is that? Well, budgets everywhere are busted, going through that whole COVID debacle. Nonsense from COVID. Shut everything down. It's the worst ever. Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah. Anyway, don't have tax revenue. Tax revenue from downtown core. That is a primary driver of most city budgets. When you don't have that money, when you don't have the little businesses supporting the big businesses, supporting the biggest of businesses, when none of that is there, when your vacancy factors are at some incredibly high numbers, San Francisco, downtown Seattle, downtown Portland, LA, downtown cores are hollowed out. Now, I've had people say to me recently, Sean, 95% of those issues, they're all squared away. All right, if that's the case, then you should have businesses streaming back into these downtown core areas. Cheesecake Factory just left out downtown Seattle. If things are great, they wouldn't be leaving because they're making money and they wouldn't be a safety issue. And a lot of these businesses have moved out because of the safety issue. And in Denver's case, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this little beauty of a storyline here. All right, not that one. We're going to see that one in a second. But look at this one.
Breaking news that we're tracking this morning. Denver police arresting a suspect after a pretty terrifying string of
2 months ago.
16th Street Mall over the weekend.
Yeah, a busy area over the weekend. 4 people total were stabbed. 2 people died because of this. Jim Hooley is live in the downtown area this morning. And just is very scary to think about when you think about how busy that area can be, Jim.
Talking stabbings.
Yeah, Andrew, this is where the fourth victim was stabbed last night. It was around 8 o'clock last. A man stabbed her at 16th and Market Street. He died a short time later. And then a short time after,
as you do.
Police were able to find and arrest,
Poor guy.
into custody the suspect and all this, so they believe is connected to all 4 of the stabbings. Here's the latest on the investigation. It's what we have for you from Denver police this morning. They released this video of the suspect Sunday evening, a short time before that 4th victim was attacked and killed there at 16th and Market. Police have not yet confirmed that this is indeed the man who has now been taken into custody.
Look at that.
We'll have more on that later on today. 3 of the stabbings took place on Saturday, roughly between 5 and 6 p.m. A woman was killed at that time along the mall and 2 other victims injured. Those 2 victims are expected to survive and recover. The violence, though, extremely concerning for all the people down here visiting and working here along the mall all day long.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I work
Murdered.
so you would think it would be safe a little bit, but it's downtown.
Now, Denver police deployed extra officers and extra patrols along the mall yesterday in the afternoon. And at this time, they don't believe that there's any connection between the suspect and the victims. Police, again, have not identified that suspect as of yet. They say they're going to release more information and possibly ID that suspect later on this morning. They have not ID'd the victims as of yet as well. But very tragically, 4 people stabbed here altogether. 2 have now died. 1 suspect in custody after a weekend of violence here at the 6th Street Mall in downtown Denver. Live in downtown along the mall this morning, I'm Jim Hooley.
Yeah, definitely very.
Yeah. And then over here, you've got, all right, here's Mike Johnston testifying in front of Congress how things went because a ton of people went into Denver. For its population, Denver took on as many of the illegals as any other big city. And the real issue here is how many criminals within these illegals did you take on? How many criminals did you take on to your city knowingly, and how many of those criminals did you hide from ICE? And that's what the sanctuary, hearings were about is, hey, Mike Johnston, we got Let's Go Brandon Johnson, we got Michelle Wu of Boston, who is just mentally shortchanged, and Eric Adams, who was just recently exonerated from those bogus criminal charges of bribery. I mean, that was terrible. That was a complete setup. Hey, you're not playing ball because literally Eric Adams of New York City said, hey, can't take any more of the illegals. And Democratic Party said, be a good Democratic boy and shut the hell up. Otherwise, something bad's going to happen to you. What do you know happened? He kept talking. He kept talking, saying, hey, can't take on any more illegals. And he was indicted. Yeah. Huh. Weird how that goes. And now he's not got charges pressed on him, right? Here's Mike Johnston testifying in Congress.
Though its definition remains unclear. Johnston said Denver has never identified as one, but called the city's response an effective answer to an immigration crisis delivered to its doorstep.
When those buses kept on coming, Denver made a choice as a city, not to hate each other, but to help each other.
Okay. Help each other. How is bringing in a whole bunch of unknowns into the community, clearly, percentage-wise, a bunch of them criminals, because now we're talking about how Denver will not help ICE. ICE isn't there unless they've got a bunch of criminals running around that they're trying to catch, right? So how do you know what I mean? You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. You just can't. Not going to work. Because we're trying to help everybody out. Well, maybe, just maybe, defending your constituents, the people that voted you into office. Maybe, just maybe, defending, normal, hardworking, tax-paying citizens, not the ones that are a suck on the economy that you got to pay out for. Maybe helping the people that, have been in Denver for years and years and years means you don't bring a bunch of criminals into your midst. What about that? You don't bring a bunch of people in that require enormous resources. You put those resources into policing. You put those resources into mental health care. You put those resources into detox because Lord knows Denver needs that. Now let's spend hundreds of millions of dollars on feeding, clothing, giving medical care to the illegals. And then when crime, like the stabbings we just saw happen, then you've got the resources to deal with it. Anyway, we need a big game plan here in Denver, and that's literally what's going on. Denver creates new downtown police unit, part of campaign to bring people back. You notice how many bring people back campaigns are out there because the fentanyl Floyd age of COVID finance, money coming through is gone. And instead, the downtown core is being hollowed out because of increased criminal presence and crime, like we just saw, has meant that businesses don't want to be broken into. They don't want to have their customers assaulted. And they have left in these big downtown cores. They have left. I was watching Metal Leo, I think maybe on a couple of days ago, and he was doing a Northtown, I think, in San Francisco. I mean, the thing I love about his show is he just literally goes from one storefront to the other that's closed up, and you can't make that stuff up. So it's not like, there's been large closures. He literally walks through entire communities. Yep, that's closed. That used to be this. That's closed. That used to be this. Oh, yeah, that used to be this. City's Safe Downtown Action Plan. That's literally what this is called. The Safe Downtown Action Plan. We got an action plan of safety, and it's in downtown. To increase police presence, horse patrols, mental and medical support ahead of the 16th Street Mall reopening. They've got it closed. After that, that little stabbing incident there, I mean, that sounds like Seattle. We had 10 stabbings in 37 hours. That was just off the hook, right? Denver Mayor Mike Johnston on Wednesday announced the creation of a new police unit focused on downtown safety, a move that another official said would yield significant changes in the crime map for the corridor within a year and encourage people to come on back. Hey, it's all good down here. It's all good. Come on back. Well, I mean, with the exception of those stabbings, I mean, just that was a random guy. Don't worry about it, though. Don't envision your head going shopping and one of your children being stabbed to death by a crazy lunatic on drugs who's got a history of whatever. Don't think about that. Think Downtown Safety Action Plan. Joined by Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas and other city officials on the 16th Street Mall, Johnston said the success of the city depends on the success of downtown. Well, that is true because the tax revenue from downtown is critical to the budget. And that is what all of these mayors and governors are concerned about. Yeah, let's clean up the homeless because, man, people for some reason don't want to step over human excrement and urine get into a store. They won't go there. It's a weird thing. Store owners don't want to do that. Employees don't want to do that. Customers don't want to do that. Yeah. Shocker, right? Downtown Denver is not just the backbone of Denver's economy, but it's the cultural and civic heart of the Mountain West. Johnston said in a news release, these new public safety resources, coupled with $570 million in economic investments through the Downtown Development Authority, the completion of construction on 16th Street, and nonstop events and attractions all summer, downtown is well on its way to being the vibrant core of our city once again. So what did you hear in there? A whole lot of nothing. That's what you heard in there. It's going to be great. This is going to be awesome. Just don't get stabbed. I mean, bob and weave if somebody's coming at you with a knife, right? Downtown Denver has struggled ever since the pandemic 5 years ago when government shut down businesses unnecessarily and limited public gatherings unnecessarily, especially the outdoors ones. It's dealing with rising office and retail vacancies, further strained by the years-long 16th Street Mall renovation construction project, homelessness, and some high-profile violent and drug crimes recently. Gee, do you think the illegal criminal aliens had anything to do with that? I'm just throwing out ideas here. Do you think maybe, just maybe, because, haven't heard any official correlation there, but you bring X number of people into the city, especially when they're coming from Venezuela, who's emptied out its prisons? You think just maybe? Foot traffic has yet to fully rebound. Shocker. Part of the city's downtown safety action plan, the new unit. Now we're getting to it, ladies and gentlemen and children. Now, there's no children that watch the show. They'd be like, God, that guy is boring. This guy is boring as F. I'm going to go do anything. I'm going to go ride my bike instead of watching this guy, and they wouldn't be wrong. The new unit will include a 10-officer force that will patrol the area on foot, bicycles, and motorcycles. Read that to you again. Safe Downtown Action Plan. 10 whole cops that will patrol the area on foot, bicycles, and motorcycles. All right. 10? 10 whole cops. This is a city of the size, just a little bit smaller, the size of Seattle. 710,000 people in its core. 10 cops. All righty. Okay. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than a sharp stick in the eye. Got to give you that. But this is literally just a whole lot of nothing about nothing. In addition, all right, we're going to get somewhere here. Now, I know you're on the edge of your seat. You're going, well, what's he going to say? In addition to the new dedicated unit, there will be 10 extra foot patrols each day. It's going to help deter crime. It is. I mean, it's in some way, shape, or form, more cops on the ground is better. 2 thumbs up. You got to remember, this is a big, blue, Democrat-run city. All the people that these cops, all these, foot soldiers on the streets, the arrest, they're just going to be right back out on the streets. You're not incarcerating anybody. All the drug addicts, they're just running around. All the mentally insane and addicted to drugs and criminals, they're just running around. So you can have as many cops as you want, but unless you're incarcerating people or, getting them squared away, you got nothing. That's why this is whole much ado about nothing. So we got 10 cops on foot, bikes, and motorcycles. We got 10 foot patrols. And the Denver Police Department will also reestablish downtown as the permanent home of the city's mounted horse patrol. Oh, we got horses back. We're going to bring horses back. Horses do work to deter crime. You ever been, walking down a street and a cop comes down, maybe 2 of them, because they're on their way to go somewhere and they're going to check somebody out and they're riding a horse? You know what you do? Oh, let me yield to you, Mr. Officer on a horse. And if they're at a gallop, you get the F out of their way. If they run through, if they run to catch somebody, I think horses are great presents, but you can't have a whole bunch of horses running all throughout the city. It's it's not going to do it. Now, you need to be able to put some of these people away in Denver, along with Seattle, along with Portland, along with LA, along with Vancouver, BC. They've all allowed their downtown cores to get just overrun with whacked out homeless nut jobs that are criminals. Simply put, because they got to steal just a little bit to get their money for their next fix. These cities, sanctuary cities, every single one of them to a T, they love the drug-addicted homeless criminals until it starts to impact their bottom line. Oh, man, we need to get some more people in downtown. All right, what can we do to say that we're working on? Okay, the infrastructure. We got $570 million that they probably needed to put into the city anyway. We're going to push that out there. 10 cops, an additional 10 cops, 10 cops on top of that. They're going to be walking. And then horses downtown again. We're doing horses downtown. Why do they move the horses in the first place? I mean, yeah, some of this stuff will help a little bit, but this is not the be all and end all that these big cities need. They need to have some tough love and drop the hammer on the criminals. And that is what's going to bring public safety back. Take those criminals off the street, incarcerate them for a while. Don't let the homeless just live wherever. Get them into treatment, get them into mental institutions, whatever. You don't have the bandwidth to do that. That's why these programs, in my opinion, a safety program, it can't hurt, but it's certainly not going to be the be all and end all. Again and again, one message has been loud and clear. Safety must come first. Well, why hasn't it been first all along? Why did you allow thousands and thousands and thousands of criminal, illegal aliens into your community? Why did you do that? We thought we had a balance, and apparently we didn't. City's Department of Public Safety and the Denver Police Department will fund the new unit. The Downtown Development Authority has approved $3.7 million big dollars for overtime and 10 extra patrol shifts per day within the downtown core for the next 12 months. It's only a year-long project. They're going to have to go out and find money elsewhere. They're going to have even less money then, because the downtown cores are not increasing in their vacancy factor. They are increasing their vacancy factor. They are not increasing their occupancy factor, meaning tax revenue continuing to go down. Overtime pay is $81.90 per hour. City asked for funding for 3,700 hours of overtime. This is a short time. This is a stopgap for a much, much larger problem, which is pretty common for one of these safety programs. Let's roll out something that the public can just chew on for a while that, hey, they're helping. When somebody says you're not doing anything, oh yeah, we got 10 more cops and we got 10 on walking and we got some horses running around. Oh, we're good. That's what you can point to. It's all about the optics, right? It's just about optics. Chairman Doug Tisdale said Downtown Development Authority anticipates that within 12 months, we will see significant changes in the crime map because that's when the funding runs out. Oh, hey now. Are they going to see significant changes? No, they're going to see a little bit. It's going to be a little bit better. But you still got the same criminals running around and you're not incarcerating them. You're not putting them away. So until that happens, and when you have a sanctuary city status and you have a mayor like Mike Johnston, don't expect miracles. I mean, that just ain't happening. Because at the end of the day, well, we come up with a solution that everybody benefits, except our citizens. Ugh, but they got to pay for it. So, yeah. Downtown merchants have long expressed safety worries, arguing it's been a major factor in driving away visitors and potential customers. Derek Friedman, owner of Sports Fan in Sockham, said that 100% of the items he sells are discretionary. Jerseys, hats, and ridiculous socks. I mean, who doesn't want to go into that store, right? Get a break from reality. And so our stores require foot traffic from people who are just out wandering around, people who are relaxed and exploring. Now, when you know you've got in the back of your head that, 4 people got stabbed, 2 died, and 2 were murdered, it's tough to, wander around your downtown core and just think, I'll go get some ridiculous socks. That's not a thing, is it? And a safe environment is crucial to getting people to wander, and that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about this initiative. Unfortunately, this initiative isn't going to do it. No, it's going to be a wah, wah, wah. We'll have that podcast in about a year and 1 month. 3 years ago, Friedman implemented a crime spike surcharge. He jacked it up because he put his own little fee on there because, this isn't good. Denver Police Department Police Chief Ron Thomas acknowledged that Denver has seen a spike in its 2025 crime statistics. In 2025, it's still going up to the moon, highlighted by the deadly stabbings in January, which were believed to be random. Oh, I feel so much better. You know, I got stabbed today in the neck, nearly died, but cops told me it was random. So, I'm feeling better about that. Now, I need to go into surgery. So if you'll excuse me, I need to leave this interview. It's random. Nobody cares. You get stabbed, you get stabbed. He said the numbers seem to have returned to 2024 trends. Is that good or bad? Probably not great. The stabbing incident rattled downtown. No kidding. No kidding. I mean, horrible. Businesses will talk about this is exactly what they've been looking for. Will it be a be-all and end-all? No, it never is, right? Big city population, especially when you've got liberal leadership that believes everybody at their core is a good human being, which is just wildly misguided. You're going to have a bunch of criminal activity that you don't necessarily need, but because you're not willing to enforce the laws, you're gonna have, especially when you allow literally thousands and thousands of criminal, illegal immigrants into your community. And you know what? Vast majority of them are probably good people trying to get away from economic situations, trying to get away from persecution, whatever. But a certain percentage, they're going to be the bad hombres. They're literally going to be criminals. And we know we've got criminals. This is Denver, next door to Aurora, Colorado, where we had Tren de Aragua, where Democrats tried repeatedly. That Tren de Aragua. I mean, they took over 3 buildings, but, they didn't take over the whole city. It's like trying to argue, the liberal left-wing nut jobs in Seattle, they only took away around, 5 blocks of space in the city. And you're like, think about that. They took that over. They took over 3 big apartment complexes. Tren de Aragua, a prison gang out of Venezuela, overtook property in the United States. When you've got that going on, you're going to have some issues. And they're not going to be solved by 10 cops, some horseback riding cops, and some cops on foot. Nah. You got to do a whole lot more than that. But this is Big Blue City, Sanctuary City. That's what they're willing to do. And so the businesses, they're going to take anything at this point and say, thank you very little. And they're going to rah it. And we're going to have a bunch of crime down the road. And I'll podcast that for you when we get to it. How about that? All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.